Hey guys, I'm just going to do a video today about lower back pain. So it's one of those issues that come up now and again with our clients, and we have two main kind of solutions to that. It may not be your solution, you may need to go and get it checked by a physiotherapist, but we've seen time and time again these two things come up as major issues. Here's how you might be able to identify what could be a problem for you and get after those problems as much as you can. If both of them are really bad, then you got to work on both a lot. If you find that you're really poor in one area, then that's the area you need to focus on a little bit more. So the first area for us to understand is that our lower back should be a stable joint, so it shouldn't be asked to be super mobile. So you shouldn't be in this or this position all the time with your lower back. It needs to be a stable joint. So if that joint is asked to be a mobile joint, it's because generally the hips are really tight, or you're putting yourself in these kyphotic positions, rounded back positions all the time. So all of what we're going to go through will be helpful, but it's not going to absolutely change anything if you're not conscious of your posture throughout the day and throughout your life. So if you're constantly walking around kind of like this all of the time or sitting at desks, none of this is really going to make a massive difference. It will help, but it won't make a huge difference. So the first area we need to kind of get after are the hips. So we have the front side of the hips and then the glute area. So if we take the front side of the hips, we need to go through what's called a couch stretch first. So I'm going to do that up against the wall, and then we'll take it from there. So couch stretch. Onto all fours, get our knee in, snug to the wall, opposite leg out front, and get to an upright position. The degree to which I can get to upright position, put my back up against the wall, is a good kind of assessment of that. What I might need to do if I'm super tight in that front hip is bring my knee away from the wall and then kind of get to upright. What we often see is people really struggling to be in this position, and what they need to do is they need to get themselves a foam roll and foam roll their thighs an awful lot more, and just do the stretch. Don't overemphasize a huge amount of foam rolling. If the area is really sensitive to foam roll, then just get after that a little bit more. But most of the time what you need to do is actually just to stretch an awful lot more, particularly that stretch. Make sure when you're in that stretch that you're not just overarching your back to get into that position. We need that pelvis to be tucked while you're in that position. If you're really struggling, as I said, to even remotely get into that position, that's a major red flag. You need to get after that in a massive way. The second part is around the glute area of the hip. So I'm going to take my mat, and then in that position I'm going to go onto all fours, and I'm going to get my shin across the body. So right knee to right hand, and I'm going to take my right shin across the body. We're looking for that shin to be pretty much straight across. If you get into that position and like it's way far back like that, again, that means the glute is mega tight, and that's going to affect the hip. It's also going to affect the knee. And then in that position, we should just be able to drop on down onto that. Again, if that's super tight, you need to take one of these little fellas, a little rubber ball. You get like them in pet shops, or that's a lacrosse ball if you're spending any time in the States. Take the ball, put it up against the wall, go side on to the wall, so at a slight angle, 45 degrees. Sit into it a little bit so I can get a little bit of leverage with my feet and work in on that piriformis. Where is that area? It's going to be like hip bone here, back pocket here, and it's going to be in that area, and that's the area you need to get after. Once you do that, you should find doing the pigeon stretch becomes a bit easier. If you have problems with the pigeon stretch, such as like in the knee, what we oftentimes will get people do is a yoga pose called Marichasana. So tuck one foot in underneath me, and then in that position I just bring the opposite leg around the outside of the knee, and I can start to pull that knee across the body and hold on to the opposite foot. And that again will be another good one for the glute, and it shouldn't really affect the knee at all. So those are two kind of more mobility related areas that will tend to clear up a lot of problems with that lack of flexibility in the hip that's causing problems with the lower back. The second major area is the lack of stability within that lower back area. So you can't keep the abs tight, or can't keep the back in that stable position if the abs aren't kind of tight enough. So our assessment of that, which again you can check, is get onto your lower back, onto your back I should say, on the floor, and then in that position bring your knees up towards your chest. Extend your arms either here if you can, or here if it's a little too hard for your arms to be back there. Crunch up a little bit so you can start to feel your abs, and then extend the legs. If that's already difficult for you, just bend your knees a little bit. But then as we get better, what we're trying to do is lower the legs towards the floor as much as we can without breaking at the knee, keeping the legs super straight. If the lower part of the back comes off the floor, that's a red flag straight away. We do not go any further. So the degree to which we can take our legs to the floor while still maintaining no arch in the lower part of the back is kind of an easy way of assessing how strong we are in that midline position and how strong our abs are. If you're really struggling to get your legs down at all and that back keeps popping off the ground and you keep just kind of arching a huge amount. It means you're just switching your abs off straight away as soon as there's any degree of loading put on your abs. So you really need to get after that and work on it. Another good assessment of that is a simple plank position, but we're going to change it. The problem we find with a lot of the time with a plank position is people just scrunch up into the shoulders and hang on, and then there's no tension here. They're all just holding onto it with their shoulders. We want to try and eliminate that, so we're going to do a toes pointed plank. So we're going to go onto all fours for a moment, and then get into toes pointed position that way. So go into all fours, and then just point one toe, point the other toe, knees it down for a second, and then lift off. Again, not this position. You want to tuck your pelvis under, squeeze into your legs as much as we can, so then all that tension is going into my abs. If your calves and feet cramp up and your quads cramp up, you're probably doing it right. But again, where we want to avoid is that excessive tilt of the pelvis, where the pelvis drops down and that overarch in the back, which is just as bad as somebody being in kind of rounded or hunched position. So those are the two positions we want to avoid, so that all the tension can be placed in our abs and not in the lower back. And that's a common fault within a lot of people who are doing kind of core work. Those are the two main areas to get after. If you need further help on this, get in touch, dominic.ie, or email me, dominic@dominicmanelli.ie. Hope this was of help and passed on to anybody you know that has problems with their lower back. Oh, one other thing, if you have problems with lower back, I think a very good thing to also do is just hanging from a bar for about 30 seconds to a minute. I think it's really good for decompression in the back, so that's another good option as well if that's available to you. Hope that helps. All the best, guys.